Lan's old motorcycle. In a small countryside village where the red dirt road winds through endless green rice fields, life is simple and also full of hardship. Every dawn, the rooster's crow echoes across the hamlet, blending with the gentle chirping of birds to welcome a brand new day. Farmers begin their work as always, walking barefoot into the fields, plowing, planting, or pulling weeds. In this quiet, modest setting, there lived a young girl named Lan. Lan was the youngest daughter of a poor farming family. Her parents worked tirelessly all year long, but their harvest brought only little money. Their small house, with an old tiled roof and cracked walls, spoke of long years of poverty. Most of the furniture inside was worn, secondhand, just like the clothes Lan often wore, hand-me-downs from her older sister. From childhood, Lan had learned to live with scarcity. Yet out of that hardship grew a remarkable strength of will and a spirit of perseverance. Every day she walked more than 10 kilometers to school. In the dry season, the dirt road was covered in thick, red dust. In the rainy season, it turned into mud, sticky and slippery under her bare feet. But she never gave up. Step by step, day after day, Lan kept going. After school, she found part-time work wherever she could, helping at a small rice shop, pulling weeds for neighbors, or carrying goods at the village market. The pay was little, but to her, every coin mattered. It was her way of sharing the heavy burden with her parents. Deep inside her heart, Lan carried a small dream. Not of pretty dresses, not of shining jewelry. Her dream was a motorbike. Not even a new one. Just an old, small motorbike that could still run. With it, she would no longer have to walk under the burning sun. She would no longer arrive home drenched in rain. She could go to school faster, travel to work more easily, and maybe, just maybe, go farther to chase bigger dreams. Lan knew her parents could never afford it, so she made a quiet promise to herself. She would save the money on her own. Every time she earned a little from her part-time jobs, she folded the bills carefully and placed them inside a small wooden box hidden beneath her pillow. At night, under the dim glow of an oil lamp, she often opened the box. Her tired eyes lit up as she counted the money over and over again. It was never much. Sometimes just a few small notes. But to Lan, those notes carried sweat, determination, and hope. Months passed. Seasons changed. The coins turned into stacks of worn bills. Many times, Lan wanted to spend it on a new shirt, on a book she longed to read, or a stronger pair of shoes. But each time, she reminded herself of her promise. Her dream of a motorbike was more important. After more than a year, Lan finally saved over 5 million dong, a modest sum in the city, but for her, a fortune. That night, she lay awake, her heart pounding. She imagined the sound of an engine starting, the feel of wind on her face. Sleep never came. At sunrise, Lan put on her neatest clothes and rode an old bicycle to the town market. There, by the roadside, stood a small, dusty shop that sold used motorbikes. Its faded signboard hung crookedly, and inside the yard, rows of rusted, forgotten bikes sat silently. Lan walked in shyly. The shop owner, a middle-aged man with gentle eyes, looked up in surprise at the timid girl. With a soft voice, Lan explained she had only 5 million dong. "Could I buy a motorbike with that?" The man sighed, then pointed toward a neglected corner. There, covered in dust, sat an old Honda Dream. Its seat was torn, its paint faded, its wheels eaten with rust. When he kicked the starter, the engine coughed, spitting out thick clouds of smoke. "Most people wouldn't want it," he admitted. "But if you really need a bike, I can let it go cheap." Lan approached slowly. She wiped the dust off the frame, her fingers trembling. She twisted the throttle, listened to the weak roar. To others, this machine was junk. To Lan, it was possibility. She smiled. "I'll take it." She handed over all the money she had saved for so long. Then, with both hands, she pushed the heavy, rusty bike home. Villagers stared in disbelief. Children ran behind, laughing. Some neighbors shook their heads. "That old thing will break down in no time." Even her parents worried, afraid it would be unsafe. But Lan only smiled. "I will fix it. I'll make it mine." And so began her patient work. Every afternoon after school, Lan brought the bike out to the front yard. With a small set of borrowed tools, she cleaned, polished, scraped off the rust, changed the spark plug, and poured in fresh oil. She sanded away the flaking paint, sprayed on new colors, clumsily at first, with patches uneven and streaked. Neighbors passing by laughed. "Why waste your time? That motorbike is too old." Lan stayed silent. Every brush of paint, Every turn of a wrench was an act of hope. Her hands grew rough, stained with oil and paint, but her skills improved day by day. The second coat of paint looked smoother, the third, shining and clean. She reupholstered the torn seat. She polished the mirrors until they sparkled. Gradually, the forgotten motorbike transformed. It was still old, but now it looked proud. When Lan finally wheeled it out onto the road, the villagers stopped to watch. Her parents' eyes glistened with pride. Children pointed with amazement. Even those who once mocked her now nodded quietly in respect. Lan climbed onto the seat, twisted the throttle. The engine purred more softly than before. The bike moved forward, steady and strong. She rode past the familiar rice fields, feeling the breeze lift her hair. Her heart swelled with joy. That evening, Lan parked her bike on a hill by the golden fields. The setting sun bathed everything in warm orange light. She rested her hand on the seat, smiled, and whispered, "Not everything old is worthless. If we care for it, if we work hard, even the smallest, weakest thing can become the strength that carries us forward." Her story spread quietly through the village. It became a lesson that value does not lie in what is new or expensive, but in how we cherish and how we persist. From that day, Lan's road grew easier. She could reach school more quickly, travel farther for work, and dream bigger dreams. And every time she heard the steady hum of her little motorbike, she remembered, all dreams, no matter how small, can come true if only we never give up. Ending. Lan's first ride. That afternoon, when the last layer of paint had dried and the seat shone with its new cover, Lan gently wheeled the motorbike to the road in front of her house. Her heart was racing. For a long time, she had dreamed of this moment, to ride not just any motorbike, but her motorbike. She sat down slowly on the seat. It felt strange, but warm, as if the old bike had been waiting for her all along. Lan placed her trembling hand on the handlebar, took a deep breath, and pressed her foot on the starter. The engine coughed once, then roared to life. It was not perfect, a little rough, a little noisy, but to Lan, it was the sweetest sound she had ever heard. She twisted the throttle. The bike shivered, then began to move forward. At first, she wobbled nervously, her body stiff, her eyes wide with fear and excitement. The villagers nearby stopped what they were doing. Children pointed and shouted, "Lan is riding her motorbike." Step by step, the wheels turned faster, rolling over the familiar dirt road. Dust rose behind her, but Lan only laughed, a bright, free laughter. Her hair flew in the wind. The fields stretched endlessly on both sides. The sky above was wide and golden with sunset. For the first time, Lan was not walking, not carrying heavy loads, not struggling through mud. She was riding. She was moving forward on her own strength, on her own dream. As the bike carried her farther down the road, Lan felt tears well up in her eyes. Not tears of sadness, but of pride. She whispered to herself, "This is my beginning." And with that, she rode on, toward the horizon, toward new chances, toward the life she had always hoped for.